Instead of our normal fun opening here at Bog Panda, we're going to take a second and get serious. Texas has recently been dealt two major blows. One of their lake beds has dried up, revealing dinosaur footprints, which most of us, I think, would see as a really cool silver lining to a bad situation, getting to see these giant dinosaur footprints. But for the people in Texas, it deals two major blows to their belief system in that it's both climate change and dinosaurs being proven at the same time. So we feel bad for you, Texas.
I love you, Texas.
Bog Panda.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bog Panda. We love Texas. We're just joking around with you guys. I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan and Everything. And joining me, as always,
Hi, y'all. I'm fixing to be Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram. And you'll get a big yeehaw from us if you would like and subscribe to our channel. That would be super awesome. Maybe take us a look at some of our fine merchandise and drop us a comment or two. I'd love to hear from you.
yeah, absolutely, especially if you're from Texas. Now, what's Texas thing? Like, they're not like what's their like chain restaurant or something that we can?
I
mean,
don't
I assume
know.
Waffle House because isn't that all of the South? But
Waffle House is very predominant in the South. I'm assuming they don't. I believe, ironically enough, Texas Roadhouses are only in the North, and so go figure. Yeah, I don't know what we should get a hold of Mel and find out. So we'll do a little research and see if we can find
any friends in Texas watching this, drop in the comments what your big chain thing is. Like, I'm in Pennsylvania, so we have Wawa. There's hundreds and hundreds of Wawas. That's our thing here. So I don't know what it is for Texas though. So leave it down there so we can talk about your thing. That sounded weird. But today,
yeah, it's on track.
yeah, it's true. Tonight we're going to talk about something. Sorry about that. Got the consumption. We are going to talk about some more Arcade1Up leaks. This video has been painstakingly broken down by so many people already. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to take you through the frame by frame and pick out what's there and, you know, what it seems like. And these are intentional leaks. This is like a quick TikTok video of them walking through a couple rooms in their warehouse and accidentally showing you a couple of upcoming arcade cabinets. A few things people already knew about or suspected. You see the side of a larger looking Street Fighter cabinet, which people already knew. The Pro line are coming out, the almost full size arcade cabinets. I think, you know, we are both on the same page. That's not really what we're looking for. The full size arcade cabinets are just about full size. Looks like there was an NBA Jam variant. Again, at some point, I'll probably break down and get an NBA Jam bar top when I see it at a good price, but it is missing elements of the game. That's why I never pulled the trigger on that one. Most people are excited because it looks like there's a Tapper cabinet in there. Tapper is included on the Mortal Kombat Anniversary Edition, but some people, and I'm not knocking the Tapper cabinet, it looks cool. Some people complained on the Mortal Kombat Anniversary Edition, and we will do a whole episode on that at some point. Some people complain, though, that it's not the ideal control layout for some of the games that are on there. And I understand what they're saying, but at the same time, having played, I think, just about every game that's on there now, they're all playable. There's nothing on there you're not able to play with the Mortal Kombat layout. So it's that, you know, 6-button standard joystick. You can play all of those games. I know it's not the way it was exactly in the arcade for some of those, but it is a Mortal Kombat cabinet, and those are essentially bonus content on there. So you do have to kind of keep that in mind. Also, a lot of those games that people are complaining about, like Tapper and Paperboy, I actually originally played those on consoles because they were ported to every console that existed at the time. So those custom arcade controls, like the tap or the bike handles for Paperboy, are never how I actually played them. So for me personally, I'm not missing out on anything doing it that way. before I get to the one thing I was really excited about, what did you think of the video, Kelly? Was there anything that surprised you or anything that piqued your interest?
Well, so a couple things. One, it's somewhat, my opinion, somewhat slanted by. Uh, in the past, I've been involved in marketing. It's been kind of my gig. Some of the work that I did, and so just the tactic itself here, I'm not like a fan of. I think the idea of starting to give people a sneak peek is good, but to publish a leaked, not really leaked video, to kind of clue them in, I know it's a way to generate some buzz, and it's been successful in doing that, and you get people breaking it down and doing all that. But you could have done it a little more authentically, I think, and still sort of say,
Yeah.
hey, here are some of the things. I mean, there is kind of a neat thing for the people that can kind of, I've gone through and I've discovered by stopping at this frame, there's this or that. But that's a pretty narrow cast audience that's going to do the frame by frame. Now there are a bunch of people that'll watch the frame by frame. So yeah, there's that. So I mean, it's in terms of getting the word out, it's not a bad tactic. I just don't really care for it, because you get a sense of some things that are out there, but you're not exactly sure, which is, I guess, maybe is what they're going for. But the content wise, I thought the tabletops that they kind of showed towards the end were certainly interesting.
That's exactly where I'm going.
And so those were a piece that was pretty cool. The Tapper one I thought was interesting before the show. Mike and I were talking a little bit, and the topic came up around maybe a mini fridge as part of a unit type thing. And at least I watched the P-Dubs recap of the leaks, which he seemed very unenthusiastic about it. He was just kind of going through it. I think he may have been tired or something, but he was kind of talking about it. But I think to a degree we share a kind of a little bit of a dislike of the method from there. Maybe that's what was influencing it. But he was going through it, and he got to the Tapper one, and he goes, "Is that a fridge down there? Is that a bar top sitting on a fridge? Is that So having your Tapper game with the refrigerator associated with it, or the ability to associate a refrigerator with it, is clever. Seems a long way to go for clever to say, I bought this pinball machine so I could have a fridge under, and I could go, look, there's a fridge underneath my Tapper game. Isn't that cool? So that was interesting. But the tabletops, or the table games looked really pretty cool to me. So it does look like they're putting out some pretty interesting new products. The NBA Jam one looks like it might be a licensed one, where they've kind of said, hey, this is NBA Jam plus Calvin Klein jeans or whatever it is. Right. And those never really sell for me. But.
Yeah, and they've done a few of those kind of things. There was a Supreme branded Mortal Kombat cabinet and things like that. Zero interest for me for that kind of stuff. Again, big NBA Jam fan. I know it's missing some content though. That's why I never pulled the trigger. It's definitely not the difference putting, some branded artwork on the outside that isn't NBA Jam. That's not that interesting to me. What's interesting to me though was the bar tops. Not the bar tops, I'm sorry, the pub tables. So originally, one of the things I really wanted was one of their cocktail table cabinets. Then I started watching some reviews of it, and there was a really common theme, which was the first generation of cocktail table cabinets. While they were really nice and had a great game selection, were very short. And even with people like sitting in chairs and things like that, they were essentially hunched over it. And for long play periods, that's not going to work. So there is solutions to it. There's a ton of videos of people modifying them to put, legs and their own little custom risers and things on them to give it the boost that it needs. I don't want to go through all that though. I want to buy something. Again, it's, I've kept the cabinets more or less stock the way that they came, because I'm going for that arcade look. So I don't want to do a ton of have to do a ton of customizing to a machine. If I choose to do that, that's one thing. But to just make it playable is not something that I'm that interested in. And it sucks because the Street Fighter cocktail cabinet had an amazing game selection. It had a bunch of the Street Fighter titles, had Final Fight, which is a part of that same universe. That's a side-scrolling beat 'em up game. It had Ghouls and Ghosts on there. It had a couple of the Darkstalkers games. Just an excellent selection of games. So I was waiting because I knew there was going to be different Street Fighter models that came out, just like there's been a few different Mortal Kombat iterations. They did put out the Street Fighter Big Blue. It looks really cool, but I don't love the game selection. And I remember the Big Blue cabinets. I didn't really play so much on those ones though, so it didn't totally sell me on the nostalgia. I just think it looks cool. But finally, recently, they announced a 35th anniversary edition, similar to the 30th anniversary edition Mortal Kombat cabinet, where it's going to come with a large game selection and cool artwork and all this. It looks awful. I got so excited about it. To me, it looks terrible. I was ready to just day one purchase this thing. And there are people who love the artwork. I've seen tons of reviews where people think the cabinet looks great and they love the game selection. I don't like either. I don't like the artwork. I don't like the game selection whatsoever. It's bizarrely missing Street Fighter games for a Street Fighter cabinet. And most of the other games associated with it aren't fighting games and not the Final Fight games that take place in that universe. Like, it just doesn't make sense. People are excited by the game list because it comes with a bunch of games that are apparently more rare Capcom titles. So they're excited about that. And I get that. I don't know those games though. So for me, it's not really getting me excited about it. So I just kind of was resigning myself to, like, I'm not buying a Street Fighter cabinet. But then they showed what looks to be the next generation of the head-to-head cocktail cabinet Street Fighter, but a pub table design similar to their Pong pub table, which we had talked about, with 2 players instead of 4, so probably a little bit smaller in size than that Pong one was, which is perfect. And from the freeze frame, it looks like it's the same side panel art with all of the game titles of the cocktail table cabinet, which was the game lineup that I loved. So if this is what it is, then I'm buying that, and that might be the last big piece for the room other than consoles and things like that.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. The Pac-Man one always, that's also a classic, obviously, and a pretty cool one. But I thought the Street Fighter one might catch your attention. So
yeah, that's
yep, that looks pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, they're continuing to offer a lot of pretty cool products. So we'll have to see which of these surface and when, and keep an eye on it. But yeah, that I'll be interested to see when we actually get manufacturer dimensions on the Street Fighter pub table, to see what that kind of comes out at, because it does look pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't mind if it's something you do. What did you say?
Said from what I could tell, it looked pretty cool.
and I don't mind if it's something you have to sit at to play, but I don't want to be hunched over the way the cocktail cabinet was. I don't want to have to add my own legs to it to make it something that's comfortable to play. So if this is, taller, which it looks like it's a little taller, a little bit bigger, I don't care about the cup holders on the side. I know in the video that we both watched, he seemed excited about the 4 cup holders on there. I'll kill somebody if they put their drinks on top. So if somebody spills their drink on one of my arcade cabinets, I'm going to be so upset with them. So the cup holder thing doesn't matter to me, but it looks like it corrected the issues I had, at least, with pulling the trigger on the other Street Fighter cabinets, which were, being too short for the cocktail one, which is what I wanted. And then just not having a game selection that I was that interested in for the other ones. And particularly with the 35th anniversary edition, just absolutely awful artwork, in my opinion. I know a lot of people liked it, but in my opinion, just terrible artwork.
Yep. Cool. Well, it's exciting. Let us know what you're excited to see. Also, let us know what you think about this method of going in. They're also hitting TikTok really hard to kind of see what they can get there. That's a platform that has eluded me in terms of really being a major consumer of it. I'll go and scroll through it a little bit, but
have you posted anything to TikTok?
I have not. I have a TikTok account and I go look at TikToks, but I've not posted one because I don't feel qualified. And I also feel about 100 years older than, anyone else who would post on TikTok. So I'm not going to do that either. So I'm gonna be a stalker for now, just observe from the sidelines. So only ticks, no talks for me. So all right, well, thanks for watching, folks. If you do get a chance, we'd really appreciate hearing from you. And thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.